This week on the Dirthead Shed, my 2020 Ford F350 Dually 7.3 gasser had its first big mechanical problem. Let's see if we can fix it. Wish me luck. Well, I guess the honeymoon period's officially over. It's 2025 and my 2020 Ford F350 with the 7.3 gas motor, it's finally starting to have some problems. I gotta show you what's going on. This isn't very good. This has been a really good truck. Problem-free for real. I've got a couple leaky tires that for some reason I keep losing air in the outer dually on this side, which that's not a Ford problem, that's a me problem. And then I also had a really bad water leak on my windshield. I had a crack in this thing for years. I finally got it fixed, had a new windshield put in it, and it turned out there was a bad batch of primer that came with the glue. So when we installed it, almost immediately it was just leaking water down the inside of the windshield and going down the firewall. And then the first problem happened. The first problem being, well, the carpet and stuff's all wet, but the stereo quit working. The radio would not turn on for like a couple of days, and then it ended up to where the radio part would turn on and things would look normal, but it'd be nothing but static out of the stereo. So somehow getting water down the windshield also affected the stereo, which I don't understand because it's not along the firewall. It's kind of quite a ways out. So that was the first thing. I was having problems with that, and I'm like, dang it, like my new truck, it's 5 years old now, my new truck is kind of getting old and crusty. It's having old truck problems. So fast forward like a couple days later, I was kind of getting used to the radio not working, and then I'm driving home from the dump and the horn just starts blasting going down the highway. Can't stop it from blasting. It's just nonstop, like, oh, nonstop. So I pull over, I grab my Leatherman, I pop the battery cables off, and I get the horn to stop doing its thing. Battery cables back on, and it didn't start right away. I got in the truck, I turned the ignition on, and then the horn starts blaring again. So I boogied back home and I parked it right where it's at, and we've got the battery disconnected, and now it's time to figure out if we can find the problem and a solution. I've Googled a few things. The truck's not under warranty anymore because it's 5 years old, and I guess it's on me to fix it. So let's figure out if we can get this thing sorted and back on the road. First things first, I guess we gotta see if we can duplicate this problem again. Let's get the batteries hooked back up. Computer's doing its thing. Lights are coming back on. Probably due for batteries in this truck. These ones are original, 5 years old. Kind of seems like they're about ready to get swapped out. Here we go. Key in, key on. Oh crap, that was cool. Apparently I had the wipers on. Okay. Key on. Start. It's doing it, isn't it? It's totally doing it. Ugh. No, it won't stop. Sorry about that. All right, so we could duplicate the problem, that's for sure. What I've read online is that there's a problem with the fuse block that's under here. It's the underhood fuse block, and the cover on 2020 specifically and up, a couple of them, they have like a cover that lets water and moisture in. So what we're gonna do is pop the cover off of this thing, see if we can figure out if there's any, see if we can find any just straight up corrosion. Let's see what we find. Now there is a technical service bulletin out about this, apparently. Man, it's chilly out here. You can tell by the snow on the ground. All right, let's see what we got. I'm gonna pull the battery out of the way just cause. I should have grabbed an extension for the 10 mil, but I didn't. I think we'll be putting batteries in this thing when I put it all back together. There we go. That can kind of go over there. And this can come straight out. Seems like everything I'm doing this last week is heavy, and this included. All right, there we go. Now we've got a little better access to the fuse box. If I want to, I could pull this battery tray out as well, and that would gain me a little bit more room, which I think I'm gonna do just so we're not struggling with stuff. That should come right up. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, now a 13, and I should be able to get the battery box out. Are there others? I'm not a Ford mechanic, so I'm not like the most well versed in how these trucks come apart and go together. I was about to get the cherry picker out. Okay, now are you coming out of there or what? Alright, here's the fuse box in question. Apparently this, oh, that wasn't even latched. Cool. Apparently this is a common-ish failure on these trucks. The lid doesn't seal properly in stock form, and water gets in here and corrodes things, which I can totally see happening. I mean, we got water coming off the windshield here and dripping down and like right onto that cover, and if that cover's not sealed up right, maybe we do have some corrosion. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out these two screws that holds the fuse block itself down to the pins that it attaches to, and then we got to pull the battery cable off over there. I said battery cable, that's probably not accurate. Accurate is probably the constant power source. Let's see if I can get this in there. I'm usually not a big fan of like power tools for everything, but I'm a little leery just to throw a new part at this without at least putting eyeballs on it, just because it seems like I should have problems. Just because it seems like I should be having problems on the inside of the cab only with that windshield leak. But if this is a known issue on these trucks too, I don't want to totally discount it, you know? Now I think these bolts, they kind of jack the plate off of, or the fuse block off of the pins at some point. And There we go. I think we're loose. Now, do I just assume this thing is bad since the rest of the internet says it is and spend $480 to replace it? I kind of think so. I don't see any like corrosion on the bottom side. I'm gonna put my tools away for the night and probably order up this part. I called the dealership earlier today and they said if I got the order in today, I should be able to have this fuse block tomorrow. I could get it a lot cheaper on eBay, but then I've got to wait like 2 weeks. It's got to come out of Florida, and I don't know if it's hard to tell or not, but I'm not anywhere near Florida right now. All right, I'm gonna go order this part. Check it out, my shop's getting cleaner by the minute. I've been working in here like crazy, trying to get to where I can work in here again. It's been just chaos lately. Hey Hazel. It's the next morning. It didn't get any warmer out, still sort of snowing. I've got the Suzuki ready to go and we gotta head down and pick up the fuse block and the cover. It's in stock at the local Ford dealer. I did put a call out on social media just asking, you know, like, hey, I got my first breakdown. What do you think it is? 2020 Ford F350 with a 7.3 and a 10-speed. And everybody, I mean, almost everybody is just like, valve springs and lifters and cam phasers. It's got valve train problems or the transmission's junk or this or that. So if I can fix this thing with a fuse block and have it back on the road and usable later today, we're going to be stoked. So I'm going to go fire up the Suzuki, get the heater going. I already brushed out the snow and we can hit the road. Hazel, you need to go back inside. There we go. A couple of expensive parts. We'll see if that fixes it. Look at all the Broncos and Rangers. A Strop Edition Bronco right there. That thing's cool. Cool Badlands in like a slate blue over there. I know I probably jumped the gun a little bit, like doing a quick diagnosis of this being the fuse block without any actual proper diagnostic tools. We'll get this fuse block and new cover thrown in there and it'll either be great or it'll end up being a $600 mistake. Hopefully it's the great option and we're back in action in no time. Any of you guys ever ceramic coated a car? I'm wondering if it's worth the cost. I got quoted like either $2,000 or $3,000 to do this truck a couple of years ago, and I don't know if it's worth it or not. It seems like it shouldn't be, but maybe this stuff's magical. All right, enough screwing around. Let's fix this thing. I went ahead and covered the connections with a trash bag last night just so we didn't get any water dripping down off of here and into that. Let me go grab my tools that I had out yesterday and probably a little dielectric grease and we'll throw this thing back together. All right. So let's go. We've got those seated down in there properly. This can if all goes right, this should just kind of draw that plug right back up into location. Just kind of snug on these. I don't need to reef on them. They're just holding that plug tight up against the back side of this module here. We'll just put the power back on there. Reuse the nut that we had. Okay, that positive lug is tight now. I also ordered the new lid for this. The problem from the factory was that the lid didn't seal. in these years where it didn't seal well enough. Mine wasn't even shut. So get the new one on here and make sure it snaps down tight. Locks in these little clips back here and then should be good to go. Let me throw the battery back in and the battery box, and we'll fire this thing up here in a second. Get the second battery hooked up. Here we go. This is the moment of truth. Did I fix it or did I waste a bunch of money? The radio static is still happening. It's running. It's running. Let's see if the horn works. Dimming. Vehicle is on. Dang it. The horn's stuck on again. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Not cool. Holy cow. Not cool. Dang it. This is like the walk of shame. It's the equivalent of putting electrical tape over your check engine light on your dash. It's frustrating. But at least I'll be able to disconnect these horns and think while I'm trying to figure out the proper solution for this problem. There's one. Do they each have their own plug, or is that it? All right, let me go fire this up and see if that at least masked the problem for now. Oh, not fun. I wonder if the window leak is going to be the culprit. If there's something down on the firewall that is super unhappy. Let's try this again. Okay, at least the horn isn't blaring right now. So the radio's back to doing its thing, like it turns on but it doesn't do anything. This is very frustrating. Well, at least the thing's not blaring the horn. I can drive it around, I can find out what the real problem is, and as soon as I fix it and figure it all out, I will let you guys know. Thanks for watching this Dirthead Shed. We'll see you guys next week.